Hello YouTube, what's up? This is my Minecraft clone. This is my C++ Minecraft clone. We managed in all the previous streams to do a lot. My favorite part is this custom block hover. And I'm thinking we're finally ready to make the world endless, because right now it's not endless. And I have my Minecraft clone, my Java Minecraft clone. This is my Java Minecraft clone. We are slowly... Oh, we already have someone. Pop-up chat. Yo, what's up? Yo, Ball Spider, what's up? This is my Java Minecraft clone. We're slowly moving everything towards the C++ clone. We still don't have the UI inventory, but the one thing that we have in the C++ that we don't have in the Java is the custom block hover. Here in the Java, everything is this block hover. And in the C++ one, we have a custom block hover. Look, we can even see it on the anvil, how it's actually a custom block hover. And here for the flower, it's smaller than the block itself. The grass is smaller block hover. And we made it so we can break blocks. But still, we have ambient occlusion. Yo, what's up, AN7N9Y? I remember you. You told me to remember you. I remember you. Just because your name is a bit different. So today I want to make this world endless. And the sad part is, even in my Java clone, the world is not endless. So there is an end to this world, and that's very troublesome. Here in the Java clone, there's an end, and we'll make it endless. And if we manage to make it endless, the good part about this, we'll have biomes, a lot biomes. Once we make it endless, a lot biomes, maybe villages too. But in order to do that, we need to make the world endless, because right now it stays static. Yeah, that's my plan, that's my goal. So the goal will be achieved if we go here and this starts regenerating, like to be endless. That's when the goal is achieved. Now, there's one issue in terms of speed. The generation of the chunks may be slow. That's okay. I just want it to be endless. I don't care about the speed. Because the player will be slowly walking. The terrain will generate at some point. We're only fast when we're flying around. So the chunk generation is not that important. I didn't open my laptop for 2-3 days and didn't draw anything. I feel so overwhelmingly inspired to draw today. Yeah, go Muscari, you can do it. I feel like that too. And today even I was wondering if I should do any progress, but I told myself, like, if I wait to start until I feel good about it, some days I'll be working, some days I'll be not. So I just started even without feeling it. The way I got... Yo, hi. What's up? The way how I felt fired up, like I didn't feel like doing progress, but the way I got like fired up was when I opened this project. I opened the project, I flew around a bit, and I got like hyped just seeing all the progress, especially when I look at the anvil. This is what motivates me to go and to stream today, to make progress today. Like looking the anvil, the custom block hover, like I just flew around in my world for a few moments, and that motivated me to do work today. Like that, this is my motivation, like all the progress and everything I've learned. That motivated me a bit. once I was making a launch game, really, it doesn't have fast generates, just don't make player super yeah. The player will, like, the actual Minecraft player is like very slow if you think about, like, here I'm in spectator mode in the original Minecraft. This is what we want to achieve as a goal, and even in Minecraft the chunk generation is not that fast, but here spectator mode is not fast as well. I really want to know how they make the sky. Look at how cool the sky is in Minecraft. Look at how dark it is, but at the distance it has this blue effect. This is pretty cool. I don't know how to do it. And even the clouds, my clouds in Java are just white. Here my clouds are just white. I don't know how they do it. They have transparency to them, but yeah, but even here chunk generation is not that fast. But still, this is Java and we're in C++, so yeah. I lost chat. Where is chat? Why are they anvils on the floor? They're my new flowers. New to the channel. Your clone looks good. Thank you. Scroll on spectator mode. Can I change the speed? Really? I'm scrolling. I'm not getting faster. I'm not getting faster. If player moving at speed of light, try and keep with the player speed, just gonna waste resources. Yo, hello creeper, what's up? If you scroll on spectator mode, you go faster. Yeah, I did scroll. Gradient, I guess. Scroll up. Yeah, oh, scroll up. I was okay. I'm scrolling up. Yeah. You can hear how I'm scrolling. For me, nothing changed. And I'm in spectator mode. Game mode, spectator. But if I press control, if I hold control, I do go faster. If I hold the control button. If I hold the control button. ASMR. Hey, look how chunk generation is not fast enough, even in Minecraft. But this is what we want. Endless terrain generation. Yo, look at look at how it's partly generating. No. This is the real Minecraft. No, this is the clone. This is the clone. Though, some people will be joining, clicking the original. No. That was the original. I don't want like false valor. Yeah, but this is the Java clone, and this is the C++ one. This is the C++ one. Yeah, these anvils were just because I couldn't. I didn't have right click to place blocks. And this is actually the dandelion flower. I changed its mesh to be the anvil so that we could test the custom block hover. That was it. Somebody was asking why there are anvils on the floor. They're the dandelion flowers. I can change them back. So in the generation, poppy flower here, instead of dandelion, I spawned anvils. I can make it to spawn dandelion. Yeah, it's a heavy metal flower. Now it's dandelions. Yeah, and the goal for this stream, my only goal right now is here, the terrain to generate. That's what I want. That's my goal. And we're in C++, so it should be a better experience than in Java. I didn't like coding in Java, but now in C++ it should be better experience to try to code this. See what's up with chat. Did you try optimization mods for Minecraft? Oh, I have mods in Minecraft. Yeah. I think Optifine. Yeah, I think 2 mods, something like that. Danville. Are you using the JSON models from Minecraft? Yeah, I'm using the JSON models. Light metal flower. Usually you wouldn't stream at this. Yeah, I usually stream way earlier, but I experimented. I experimented where at the start of the day, before I stream start of the day and work on videos for the YouTube channel end of the day. And now I switched them. I tried working on video start of the day and streaming end of the day. I wanted to see how it's like. And for me, this is about the end of the day. It's like eight, like half past 9 p.m., something like that. And how are we going to make the terrain endless? That's the question. That's the question, because right now the terrain generation is happening on a separate thread. Sodium, I haven't used it. I haven't used sodium. Right now we generate the terrain on a separate thread. Where is the thread? Thread? Yeah, here. Terrain generation thread. Which just runs one simple function. It runs this function where I generate the blocks, then I generate all the meshes. And then when drawing, and when we try to draw a subchunk, we check if there's a mesh but not a model, we generate a model, and then we draw the model. And the thread is over once it generates the terrain, and that's why it's static. Once this terrain generates, the thread is bye-bye. We don't have the thread. And the generation stops. And I have no idea how I should approach to making it endless. I've tried before, I've made a lot of attempts before. There are many ways we can do it. Pearl and noise. Actually, you should add fancy oak and blown oak. I now post edgy memes. Will become duality of man. Okay, let's think of how to approach this, because I have no idea how to approach endless terrain, but I really want to in this stream to make significant progress towards the goal. And the stream has a limit of 3 hours. So in about 3 hours, we have to have some kind of significant progress. I don't know how that would look like, but we'll see. Have you tried using OpenGL or Vulkan for this project? I'm using OpenGL. I'll never touch Vulkan. Vulkan will be so much work just to render a triangle. Add shadows. And I actually forgot the most important part about the stream is the music. I forgot the music. I'll lower it. Yeah, about this level. Yeah, I'm using OpenGL. People say Perl and noise all of the time. But never what is noise. There is more noise than Perlin. Yeah, I use Perlin noise for the terrain generation. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters is making this endless. And my entire world, actually, my entire world is a map. It's a map from the subchunk origins to subchunk classes, and the classes themselves have an array of block IDs. And they store their model and the mesh. Actually, the mesh, I don't need to store the mesh since it's stored here. I don't need to store it. We'll see about that. But yeah, everything, I have subchunk like structures, and inside of them, each subchunk is 16 by 16 by 16, and each of them has its own blocks. And to get access to each one of the subchunks, I have a map from positions, the subchunk origins, to the subchunk reference, like the pointer to the subchunk. And so if we want to make it endless, like look what I mean. If we want to make it endless, when like this is all the subchunks we can use. We cannot add more subchunks. So when we go here to the end of the terrain, and here we want to generate new subchunks, for new subchunks to generate, old ones need to disappear. The old ones need to disappear. So at all times, I should look at the current player position. I should look at the current player position and to calculate what are the subchunks around me. What are all the subchunks around me? To calculate that. And to compare with the subchunks beforehand. And to do something with the difference between them. Like the difference between them is the ones we'll remove. Yeah, we have to figure out a plan. Need project. You have to eventually switch to 3D noise like Minecraft. About 3D noise. 3D noise. 3D noise will take up more computation, and it's easier for me to use 2D Perlin noise. 3D we'll think about it later on. It will be more complicated. And for the caves, in Java clone I have caves. Let's restart it actually. In the Java clone I have caves, and for the caves I don't use 3D Perlin noise. I use something called Perlin worms, I think it was called. Yeah, but let's not waste time searching for caves right now. Other render distance then. Perlin noise is very boring. Realistic terrain, you have to mix and match different noise. Yeah, to make the terrain interesting is very complicated process. Like very complicated. Yo, what's up, the real splits? What's cooking? Perlin noise with math functions. Anyhow, realistic terrain is not really the main plan. Yeah, right now the main plan is endless terrain. Why do you have 2 clones? It's not 2 clones, it's more than that. It's more than that. I have a Unity clone, Minecraft clone, I have a Godot one, I have a few more C++ ones. I have a lot of Minecraft clones. Yeah, let's make it endless. And what I've learned through the years is it's best if we keep it very, 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 very simple. Extremely simple. As simple as it can be, even if it's unoptimized. Even if the code is ugly. We need to get it working first, as simple as possible. And in the future we can complicate it, we can improve it. But the fastest progress we can make is like to keep it extremely simple, stupid, to not think about it that much. Because here I wanted to make the terrain run on a separate thread. And I tried a complicated thread pool. I tried so many complicated things. But what actually worked for me, it was the easiest approach. It was the easiest approach where I just created a thread and that was it. I didn't need to make any synchronizations between multiple threads. I just created one simple thread. Yeah, here. I just created one simple thread and that's it. One simple thread that runs this function, and it's so simple. It's so simple that I can even copy this function. I can just, where is the thread? I lost it again. Here. I can just remove the thread and run it on the main, I can just run it on the main thread here, and it will, everything should run. Like, I'm not sure about that, but everything should run. Camera position. Oh yeah, it's here. I have a few checks for the thread. If it's joinable, to join with it, to wait it. And this, and that's it. And now once it compiles, and that's it, everything. But the difference now without a thread is I have to wait the terrain to generate on the main thread, and we had that freezing screen. But I've kept it extremely simple, and now everything is on the main thread. I've removed it's not asynchronous, and now once I bring this back, it's all, that's what I mean. I've kept it so simple, and it works. And that's my idea for making the world endless. I'll use the same way of thinking. Where was my, and here I commented this out. And yeah, and now we have now the terrain is on a separate thread. Like, I've kept it extremely simple. Plan today is to make the world endless. I think I lost something. 10 or 5 dedication. That is very... There was Unreal Game Dev channel which made tutorials while using GG bro. I mean, once you make one Minecraft clone, you can't stop. I've made 2 in Roblox and 1 in Godot, but I will make like 100 at this point. He's one of bro, tried spamming. That's the goal. Average vibe color, nice job. I have no idea what this is, but it looks incredible. Instant click. Yo, nice. So almost half an hour has passed and we haven't started. So let's actually start. And to start, we need to think of a plan. We need to think of a plan on how to make it endless, and the only requirement for the solution on making this endless, the only requirement is the solution to be simple. As simple as it can be. That's my only requirement. Even if the code is ugly, even if there are mistakes, etc. So to make it endless, we need for sure to track the player coordinates. We are keeping it simple, and as simple as it gets. In order for this to be endless, we need to know where the player is. But if we constantly track the player coordinates, that would be extremely inefficient. I don't know even if it will run if we do all the logic on every time the player moves. So instead, we'll run code only when the player crosses a subchunk. And I think it will be easiest to show it in the Unity clone. In the Unity clone, let's start it up. While it's starting, we'll wait it. I'll start up the Unity Minecraft clone just so I can show you what a subchunk is. Yeah, I'll start up the Unity Minecraft clone because there we have very cool visualization. And I can show you what a subchunk is, so it's easy to visualize what I'm talking about. But we for sure need to track the player movement, and for now the player is just a camera flying around. We don't have an actual player, we just have a camera flying around. Yeah, let's wait the Unity clone to generate. And I'm starting the Unity clone because here it's easy to demonstrate to you how small a subchunk actually is. Because it's just 16 by 16 by 16. It's not a chunk. It's a subchunk. How many comments did I lose? I have earbuds. And offset, bro, this looks incredible. Bro, actually on grind arc, he come from 0 viewers, then 10. Just sub one more to the collection. Use Windows 10 still. Dude, I saw a remake. Yes, and you have to turn down the hand bombing animation just a bit, please. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. Yeah, Windows 10 is better. Linux is even better for sure. Windows 11 sucks. And yeah, okay. Yeah, this is the Unity clone. And inside of the Unity clone, if we look at the scene, this is a subchunk. This is one subchunk. This small thing is one subchunk. And I'm running like a couple of Minecraft, so maybe it's lagging a bit because of that. But this here is one subchunk. Yeah, I don't know why Unity is struggling so much. Oh. Yeah, let me stop it. Yeah, but we saw what one subchunk is. Like, I'll let Unity rest. So that was one subchunk, and the idea is we'll track the player movement, but only when we cross a subchunk. Maybe in Minecraft it's easier to show. Here, time set day. And how can I show the borders? Game mode creative and G, yeah, this is one chunk actually, and one chunk has a couple of subchunks in it. And so look at how we want to make the world endless, and let's bring down the render distance. Yeah, here will be easiest to show you. Video settings. Yo, what happened? Oh, okay. Yeah, here it's easiest to show you, and I use Optifine to remove the fog, so it's even better displayed. Look at how here, no matter how much we fly around, no matter how much the player moves inside of the chunk, nothing regenerates or is generating. But actually, I want to see if we go up, if things change. Yeah, if we go up, chunks also disappear. That's interesting. Yeah, but we'll focus just on the X and Z axis. And look at how only when we cross the chunk into another chunk, only then the terrain regenerates. Only then. And look at how at all times we have this square around us. So if we move here, look at how here new chunks will generate, but these old ones will disappear. Look how they disappear. And these ones appear. And this only happens when we cross the border. That's when we need to write the code. Only when we cross the border. This is a hint for us on whatever solution we decide to make. It should happen when we cross the border. What's up here? Yeah, I prefer the C++ as well. The Unity clone looks like the game my cousin would be playing. Talking about Linux. Also, some guy named made a near flawless 3D remake of Minecraft from scratch. I know it. Phoenix played it, and Phoenix played my own clone as well. You can beat the game. You can beat the game and everything. One question I have: how is he allowed to post it and not get like problems with Mojang? If he can post it, so that means I can post my projects as well. I made a mod loader. Really powerful. Yeah, when it's good to take breaks. It's okay. It's just the support is mostly. Brother, I'm using Linux fully. Brother mentioned Linux once. Yeah, okay. Scratch is horribly moderated. Meanwhile, streaming the process. The export tab was frozen for 7 months. Should I try to play Minecraft on my TV? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So let's make it actually endless. Let's make it endless. How should I go about this? We need to devise a plan. It needs to be simple, and it needs to happen only when we cross the chunk border. Only then. And let's start there. And let's bring down the render distance in my clone to be also very... not this one. Let's bring down the render distance here to be the minimum, just like in Minecraft. And so here, this is render distance, how much? Render distance 2 chunks. So 2 chunks, the size should be how much? This is 1 chunk. How much should be the size? So here I have 1. Yeah, here I think it's 2, then 1 more 3, and 2 more 5. So 5 by 5. It should be 5 by 5. The world should be 5 by 5. Here, where is it? Let's make the size 5 by 5. Yeah. And now we have the same world. And now let's here what we saw is we need to generate new chunks when we cross the border. And here we have the debug screen, and here in the debug screen we should have the current chunk we are in. We should have it somewhere. And the same way we probably have here the current chunk, we will display it in our world. In order to know when a border is crossed, we need to keep track of the current chunk we are in, or current subchunk. Only when we cross it, the crossing will happen if the current subchunk changes. That's what we'll do. So where is the update? Yeah, here is the main while loop. This is the while loop of the whole game. And inside of here, we can have... yeah, here, let's have a vector 3. Last subchunk we were in. The last subchunk we were in. And let's set it by default from the start to be the current player position, but it should be as position details, because this is just like a vector tree, but it has additional information: the current block position, the current chunk position of the block, and this automates everything. Last, but what should it be called? No, let's have it vector tree. Last subchunk we were in, and let's have a position details, current player position, and we'll use the camera position, and last subchunk, the initial value will be the current player position, subchunk origin. That's it. But there is a problem. There is a problem because I'm using subchunks, not chunks. And when we change the height, that will also change, which is actually more accurate. It's just like Minecraft, but it will be a lot simpler if I just am looking for this crossing on the X and Z and ignore the Y. So what was my idea? My idea was here in the while loop. Here before we draw, to calculate again the same thing. Here the current position will be position details and the camera position, and we'll have a vector tree. No, we can even compare it here. So my idea was if the, let me see here, something like this. So this will here code will execute. Here code will execute only when we cross the border. That's essentially the code. But it also executes when we go up, because I'm looking at the subchunk difference, not the chunk itself. Here this is one chunk, which is a couple of subchunks. A subchunk has a height of 16. So the code will execute if I go down and up as well, not only here to the sides, which complicates things a bit, but not that much actually. It's okay, it's fine. It's fine. So this was a little bit of progress, but we need more progress. I got Quake 1 and Quake 3 Arena running on my TV. Nice. You should try using Turbo Warp as a challenge for some coding project. I don't know what Turbo Warp is. Find what chunk the camera is in and generate the chunks around the camera and unload the chunks. We don't need any more. Yeah, that's the idea. I'm a simple dude, have no reason yet, no reason to... Yeah, let's enjoy the moment. If you have an Android device, okay, let's see. Let's say you're using 32 by 32 chunks. Okay, this is on topic. 32 by 32 chunks. We can divide the X and Z position to 32 and make it an integer. We can have the player chunk position relative to X and Z axis. Running Minecraft, okay, this again will keep track of the player chunk X and Z position, and if there is any changes, without new chunks. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. If someone is chasing, yeah, okay. What happened with the last 5 minutes? I was gone. A cold. I always wondered in that state like chicken or beef. Maybe more like chicken. the T-Rex. Yeah, but let's go on topic. So what happened in the last 5 minutes is we saw that we need to execute the code for making the world endless when we cross the border. And we wrote some code that actually tracks this. We keep track of the last subchunk we were in, and we look at the current subchunk, and if it's different than the last subchunk, we update the last subchunk, but here we have an opportunity to run our code. Sure. And let's assume the thread that generated the terrain is over, because it will complicate things if we try to interact with the thread right now. Let's ignore what the thread is doing. Let's not make it asynchronous code. Let's run it on the main thread as of now. We'll use separate threads afterwards. Let's keep it simple. So what should the code be executed here? So as you guys said in the chat, it should be when we pass here, we should unload the chunks we don't need and load the new chunks. Like, it's simple, right? So how do we know what are the chunks that should be unloaded and what are the chunks that should be loaded? How should we know that? Well, let's see. What should be unloaded? How can we calculate that? Let's see what we have. We have the last subchunk we were in. And when we were there, all the subchunks around it were needed. But now we are in a new subchunk. And if we generate the terrain just like last time for this subchunk, there will be difference with the last one. We can make a function that calculates what are the subchunks around us when we give it a position. We can do that. And to calculate the positions for the new place we're in. And we store all the current subchunks, we store them in this world class in an unordered map. And when we cross here, when we move here to a new chunk, in our case a subchunk, when we do this transition, we can go over the map of subchunks, we can go over it and compare it with the new positions that we currently need to compare. And those that are not there, to add them and generate a subchunk. And the rest that are not in the new generated positions to be like removed. So we need two things. Like step 1 would be get new subchunk positions based on our new position. And then step 2, delete subchunks from the world that are not in step 1. And step 3, generate and add the new subchunks that were missing in the world. Yeah, we can do it in 3 steps. We can do it in 3 steps. We can do it in 3 steps. I was wondering, okay, we saw that. Which graphics I use OpenGL? Because the alternative is Vulkan, and Vulkan takes a lot of time. Will shader support in the future? I would love to have shader support, but there's a priority to new features. Why everyone acting gonna release bare bones Minecraft code like ain't Mojang gonna get you? Yeah, Mojang will not like me at all. Mojang will not like me at all. So let's do step one. Let's do step one, and the new subchunk positions are vector trees. They are vector trees. Sure. And in what structure are we going to store them? Is the question. That's the question. So what are the options? We can do arrays, vectors, maps. We can do what else? I can think of these data structures, trees, but the world stores current positions in a map. So if we choose arrays, we have to compare the array with the map. We can give chunks X and Z position and an array with chunks that should be loaded. We move forward by one chunk that X. Pause. He will either get hired by Mojang or get sued by Mojang. To get hired, I need to give them a CV. But they are not in Bulgaria. And there is another problem. It will be a lot easier if we have chunks. The problem is I don't have chunks. I have sub-chunks. And they have a height of 16. So whatever I choose here, either arrays, vectors, maps, they'll have many positions. And that's a big... I'm not sure how much of a problem it will be. Can we do something else? Like, my idea was to generate the positions. But can we do something else? What do I mean? Can we use geometry? Excali draw. Can we use geometry? What I mean is, every time we change position, basically, when we move, let's move all of these. When we move, let's say this is the world around us. And here it's the chunk we are in. And here it's another chunk. Basically what will happen when we move is... Let's group this. Can we group it? Group selection. When we move here, basically, do you see how the world will be like this around us? Like, this whole thing represents all the sub-chunks here, all the chunks. And I've simplified them as this big cube around us. And let's say the grid is of integers. Let's say here we have a grid of integers. And here the distance from one to the other, let's say it's like 16 blocks. So here it's 0, here let's say it's 16, 32, etc. And so this change here in this simplification, because let's say this represents all the chunks around us, like instead of me drawing them, I'm simplifying them with this thing around us. And basically, if it moves, like if we move the player here, the world around us will move here once, like this. And so basically, is it possible to simplify it where we store the chunks around us as this geometry, like the minimum position in the world and the maximum position in the entire world? And when we move, let's just copy this. When we move, for example, upwards, to focus some way in the difference here. Look how obvious the difference is now, and here how obvious the difference is now. When it's like this with simple geometry, instead of having to generate all the subchunks and then to compare all the subchunks, etc. Like, can I instantly get what are these and what are these? But the issue is, what if we move diagonally? Since it's very simple if we cross like this. It's obvious. Like here it's the x-axis, the positive x. We are crossing this border. So since we are crossing this border, we have to load to this side all those chunks and unload on this side all of those chunks. So maybe instead of doing these steps here, instead of doing this, to just track what border we crossed. But what happens when we move diagonally in that case? Diagonally, yeah, we moved diagonally. Yeah, we moved diagonally. In that case, I'm not sure. We need to keep it simple. Would you rather live at Bulgaria or Turkey? I haven't been in Turkey, so I cannot say. Yeah, it's best if we keep it simple and stupid. To not overcomplicate it. This idea here, it sounds great, but I don't know how it look like in code. Well, okay. We have the current subchunk we're in, and it has changed. So the entire world, minimum x and maximum x, and minimum z and maximum z will have also changed. And we can compare them with those previous values. So if the minimum has increased, okay, here, how will it look like moving diagonally? Like this, diagonally. It's again the minimum changes. Here, look at how this is the minimum x, and this is the new minimum x. We have a change on the x, so we know we need pastas to remove these blocks. Let me think about it. Actually, it's not that, because if I open the stream, if we look at the stream, when we were traveling in Minecraft, when Minecraft was struggling, it really showed the terrain generation properly. When we were moving very fast. Yeah, here. Look at here. Isn't it? Yeah, look at how I got this like trail behind me. Look at how I got that trail behind me. Isn't this a hint on how to approach this? Because all of those ideas where I try to simplify it, all of this will break the game when player is going high speeds. The code will not be able to keep up. The code will not be able to keep up. Isn't it basically just like drawing? But where isn't it like drawing, but where this has a time span and it disappears after some time? It's like drawing, man. It's like a drawing. If you think about it. The player is like a paintbrush and it's painting terrain. If you think about it. That's interesting. So let me think about it. Or what if I change the world itself? The world right now is a map of subchunks where I have a key for their position and it leads to the subchunk itself. The benefit of this is that we have instant access to any subchunk we want. The negative to this is that we cannot do an idea that I have. I have an idea where the subchunk itself, it has a subchunk origin. What if we have like a grid of subchunks and we change, and if we make a change to its origin to automatically regenerate? Let me think about it. Instead of creating and deleting subchunks, to have them be our canvas. In a sense, let's say we have a render distance of like 12, doesn't matter. And here, let's say here is the player. And as the player moves around, let's say the canvas is bigger than our render distance. Let's say this is the render distance. No. It's difficult to explain it. But I was thinking of, like, let's say here we have, these are all the chunks, let's say. It would be easier if there were less of them, but my idea was, what if instead of creating and deleting subchunks, Let me think about it. No, but that will be an issue, because which one will we change? Yeah, what's up in chat? Yeah, good idea. Honestly, wouldn't be same as going one Z going one up. And if please let's keep it in English. We're drinking English, gentlemen. I will be able to pet to speak also in Turkish. It automatically translates it to English for me here when I hover. Automatically translates it. Honestly, I never saw someone on web same city as me. Well, their biggest city is Turkey, so it's not surprising. Where are you from? Is it something like unload and load, like unloaded chunks from rendering? So someone... Okay, nice. Yeah. Let's think about it. How can we... What's the simplest way we can make the terrain endless? What's the simplest way? What's the simplest way? I don't want to overly complicate it. What's the simplest way? You know what's the simplest way actually? I thought about it. The simplest way is... Where is it? If we have only one chunk that follows the player constantly, that's the easiest case we can cover. Here, look at how we have only one chunk. The goal is, when we move, to move this chunk. That's the simplest way we can do it. That's it. To move this around. That's the simplest way. Yeah. And we'll gradually increase the render distance. And that will guide us on how to change the solution. Yeah. Yeah. So now the goal is, we cross here. I want this to be gone and here to have the new subject. Or actually, let's keep this. Let's keep it. And let's just continue to generate new subchunks. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'll do that. That's what I'll do. Don't trust auto translation for okay. Donate scholarship. Just make the train bigger and don't generate. There is some artistic advice on one chunk. Feels like a moment of memory in mind. Yeah. Okay, let's, when we go past the sub chunk, to generate the new one. So here the code is the same, will not change it. Here I just want, here we have the new subchunk, vector 3, new subchunk is this. This is our new subchunk. Sure. And we want to render it, that's it. As simple as it can get. We want to render it, just that one. Or maybe generate mesh on y-axis. I think it should be like, since we want the chunk itself, we need to go on the y-axis as well. We need to go on the y-axis, but here, yeah, world height. From world height downwards. So what are the positions? Here the X and Z are the same. The X and Z are the same. The X and Z are the same, only the Y is different. We need this for loop to generate the entire chunk, since we're working with subchunks. And here, and I need to create them. So I need to create them. Subchunk position, and this to be this. Yeah, let's test it. Now, what happened? Why did I lose the entire world? Here, new subchunk. Sure. Why did everything disappear? Oh, this offset, I don't need it. There was an offset. I don't need that. Okay, nothing seems to be generating. Oh, let me think about it. Generate mesh. So when we create one, it doesn't have a mesh, doesn't have a model. And when we generate mesh, it will set mesh generated to true, sure. And it needs to generate a model and it needs to be drawn. But we do that in the draw. Where is it? We do that in the draw. Here. We go over all the subchunks. And if mesh generated and there's not a model generated, we generate the model. Yeah. Let's do a debug. Can we? We need to go in debug. Sure. Let's put a debug point inside of the draw here. We should get here. And we don't get there. Let's put a debug before that. Here. Do we get here? We got it too early. It's working. Famous quotes back. So you do the hunting. The hunt is not the time for that. Our goal is to make the terrain endless. That's our goal. This, we need to first check if this is actually working correctly, because right now most likely it's not. We got here when we haven't crossed the border. Where is this? Here. Let's remove this and let's comment here. Let's comment current subchunk position X, Y, and Z, and it's an integer actually. It's an integer, and we want they're actually the last subchunk position and the current one. Position details. We can get the it from here. Subchunk origin. Z and Y. Do we have the current subchunk position? Yeah, it's 0, 0. Right now it's 0, 0. And it's still 0, 0. Let's just use the camera position. This is the Y and this is the Z. I've set them as integer. Will that be a problem? Let's do float. Yeah, I have the current position, which is not current subchunk. Current position. So let's set it to be the subchunk origin. And yeah, it changes. Look at how here it became 16. Yeah. And here it's minus 16. The current subchunk. And here it's 16. Here it's minus 16. Minus 16. 16. Yeah. So we actually get the current subchunk. So here, and I compare it to the last one. Let's put a debug here. Right. The last one is 0, 112, 0. And the current one is minus 16, minus 16. Huh. Why? Let me restart it with a debug point here. Current player position is 0 on the X, 0 on the Z. Everything is perfect. And so here, and the position changed. Camera position changed just by looking around. What the why did camera position change? Yeah, that's some Relief stuff. The camera comes from Relief. I haven't written the camera. X position divided by 16, make it an integer. We'll get our chunk X position. We'll do the same on the Z axis. Now all needed is to ask the code to allow the chunk in our chunk X and Z position. Yeah, like sure, I have that. I have that. The problem is, yeah, I get it here. I get the subchunk origin X, Y, and Z by dividing by 16 and floating it. I multiply again by 16 to not have the subchunk origin be 1, 2, 3, but to be a global position. That's why I multiply by 16 again, but it's the same thing. And I have the last subchunk position we were in. I have the current one. The problem is the current one changes just by looking around. The position changes. X and Z were 0. I looked around and they became these numbers just by looking around. That's really weird. What should I do about that? But, okay. But that shouldn't be even an issue if we... That shouldn't be an issue if we look at the debug text, because the debug actually, let's run it again. Yeah, it changes. The current subchunk changes by just looking around. Now x is minus 16. Now it stopped changing. Yeah, and now it reset once I updated the position. That's really weird. When I was here in the corner, it was acting weird. Okay, we can simplify. Let's just set the player to be... where's the player position? Camera. Here. Where it's on 0, 0, let's set it to be 8. 8, so it's in the middle of the subchunk. And we shouldn't have problems. Where when we move around, it's like acting weird. Yeah, okay, now let's have this debug point here. Okay, and only when we transition, that's when it should run the code. Yeah, now we're here. Okay, perfect. Now we're here. And let's uncomment this. And let's see if it works. It generated nothing. We need to do a debug point. Let's run it. Okay, nice. For now, everything's perfect. Subchunk position. Where is this? Minus 16, 0. And this is minus 16, 0. And here the Y. Yeah, and we have different Ys. Sure. And we create a subchunk. Sure. We create the subchunk. And we use this new position. Minus 16, 0. And we set it. We set it and we generate the mesh. We generate the mesh. Do we reach here? Yeah, we reach here. And what happens when we're here? All the blocks are rare. Do we reach here? No. All the blocks were rare. That's very weird. All the blocks were rare. That was the issue. Okay, now. Yes, and let's go back here. Let's breakpoint. Yeah, we have a breakpoint. And when we transition, yeah, all the blocks were rare. That's the issue. Oh, because we, yeah, we need one step before this. We need one step before this. We need to, yeah, I get it, I get it. We need to do this 2 times. Once to generate the blocks. Generate blocks. And then one more time to generate the mesh. One more time to generate the mesh, but now this should be here. Like that. That should be it. Oh no. We're getting there. We're getting there. The trees are not generating. The trees are not generating since we need to use the block spawner. Spawn blocks. We need to spawn some blocks. Yeah, it's generating. It's generating. Okay, when I'll be able to join? In the future, you should try adding your own custom build in shaders as a toggleable feature like vibrant visuals. How optimized is this? Minecraft is for sure more optimized. I don't have first-time culling. Graphical glitches. How are you today? They're not graphical glitches. They're just... I need to update the neighboring mesh. Since when this mesh was generating, it didn't know about its neighbor. Trees are also constantly respawning and spawning since they use completely random, they're completely randomized, and their randomness is not deterministic, and they continue to regenerate. I should make them deterministic. Which means for every time we... It's like getting a Minecraft seed. Every time you get a Minecraft seed for a world, here, create new world. Where do you input a seed? Here. When you give a seed here, every player that gives this seed will get the same exact world. That's what determinism will create. But in my case, the trees are completely random. In Java, I managed to solve that in the Java clone. Here, I managed to solve it, this randomness, by the class that gives the random number to tell it to be the same every time, like to be deterministic. There was an option like that. Here, like this is missing. Yeah, now it regenerated, sure. But it was missing because it didn't know its neighbor. It didn't know its neighbor. But we are going in the right direction. Since we have terrain generating, all of these problems right now are good problems to have. They are good problems to have because we can focus on them and solve them. Let's focus on this problem because I know how to fix it. At least I assume. We can do this by... Let me think about it. Here, when I set the size to be 1, here, we have one, like render distance is one like chunk. Only one chunk. When we generate the mesh, the issue is that here for that simple chunk or sub chunk, we need the neighbors. And right now, when we generate this world, there are no neighbors for generating the visuals. And we need the neighbors because if we don't look at the neighbors, the issue is that, like, even if we go, the issue is we get those problems here. This sub chunk should have known that here it would be empty space. It should have known, but it's impossible for it to know it because here in this part where we generate the mesh, it's trying to get the neighbor, but that neighbor doesn't exist. So when we're setting the size, this size should actually be for the visible chunks. here, if this is like, let's focus on chunks. When we generate this chunk, the visuals, it needs its neighbors. In order to generate the visuals, we need to have the neighbors. We need to have them. And so my idea is, since we are rendering only one chunk, we can generate the neighbors, but not visualize them, to not generate a mesh for them, only to generate what blocks they have, so that here we can get a proper mesh. And when we move here, we only need to generate their mesh. But to generate the mesh for this one needs this neighbor, and it needs this neighbor, and it needs this neighbor. So it's getting complicated. That's what I mean, it's getting complicated. Even when we're trying to simplify it a lot. Yeah, here, look at it. This subchunk didn't know that the neighboring subchunk here, there are no blocks. It didn't know that. And that's why there was no face generated here. How are we going to approach this? We could increase the size. So how much should it be bigger than this? We need all of these neighbors, so the size should be 3. Let's put it 3. We can put the size to 3 here. We can put it to 3 just so this subchunk knows it has access to its neighbors. That's it. Just so it has access to its neighbors. But this will be our buffer, the edges. And let's make those edges disappear because they also need their neighbors. We'll have the same problem there. So let's make them invisible. And Minecraft actually has this. It's called simulation distance. We have render distance and we have simulation distance. Where is it? Here. We have render distance, but we have simulation distance. And look how you can make it higher than the render distance. This is what it is. Those chunks that are not rendered, but are still there as data. Yo, what's up? So, this size, let's have it be, let me think about it. Visible size, invisible size. And the visible size will be 1, the invisible will be 3. And let's have this be the invisible size. Huh. Do we use this actually anywhere? Do we use it anywhere? Find all references. Do we? We do. We can just use the size. Where is this? This is in the main. Why do I have it in the main? Oh, here I generate the... I just generate the subchunks. Yeah. That's why I have it in the main. So yeah, we can have this be the invisible size. Yeah, like that. The invisible size. which is simulation distance in Minecraft terms. And here, where is this? This is for this is for generating the blocks. Perfect. Yes. Yes. And now here, this should be for the visible size. But here, do we use the offset? Let's reuse it here as well. And here it will be the visible size. The visible size. Sure, why not? And here. Yeah, that's it, I think. Now we should have only one chunk rendering. Yeah, we have only one chunk. We have only one chunk. Look at how there are no visible glitches. But it should be up to a point. At some point they'll come back. Yeah, they come back here. Since we only add one chunk. We only add one chunk. We should add... How many should we add? Because here it's perfect. When we move around. Here is perfect. If we ignore the trees. Like we don't have those visual bugs. Here, the missing faces. We don't have the missing faces. We don't have the missing faces. But if we move more than this 3x3 space, if we move outside of it, at some point they'll come back. The missing faces here. Immediately. And there's one other issue. Here we actually create new subchunks, but we don't have to. They already exist. And the blocks are already generated. Here, these neighbors, they already exist, they're just not visible. And I don't need to create them, and I don't need to generate blocks. I just need to generate the mesh, that's it. I don't need to spawn blocks as well. Let me think about it. Yeah, let's remove this. Let's comment it out. And let's test it as it is. Yeah, it still works. Perfect. Oh, what happened there? What happened there? Why did we lose this? Oh, crash. What happened? Yeah, we get all the positions. We get the reference and we generate the mesh. And that's it. Because they don't have a mesh generated. Everything was running fine. Yeah, here, fine. Oh, maybe because I unload the mesh. Let me think about it. Maybe because I unload the mesh. Oh, we can check the variables. we can check the variables. If here if subchunk mesh generated to continue, if it has a mesh to continue, this way if we go up nothing's happening, and we generate the neighbors. What happened? Subchunk was no pointer. Sure. If subchunk no pointer to break, why not? Just to break. We have them here, here and here. Sure. We have them here, this one and this one. Perfect. See, everything is perfect, but we don't have subchunks there. We don't have them there. If we go here, yeah, crash. We get crashed. But why does it crash? It shouldn't do anything, actually. That's what I expect. Here only we generate a mesh. Okay, let's run it again. If we go here, it's fine, and there it shouldn't be fine. Let's put a breakpoint. Here, let's put a breakpoint. Yeah, we go here. And what's up? And we break. And this is the new subchunk. And we start drawing. And we hit here an error. And for which subchunk is this? Why should it be a problem? It doesn't have a mesh, it doesn't have a model. It's some sort of a... Oh. It's like it's deleted, this subchunk. It's like it's deleted, but the only thing that happened is we crossed the border. We crossed the border and we tried to get access to a subchunk that doesn't exist. We saw it doesn't exist and we broke out of here. And we updated the last subchunk position. That's it. And here, instantly we get a crash. But here... So here it's storing read access violation. This was no pointer. We have a no pointer. Oh, here maybe we get the no pointer and what of it? It's not like I'm setting it. Huh. I don't get it. I don't get it. I cross here, perfect. Cross here, perfect, perfect. Yes, perfect. And here, no issues, absolutely no issues. Only when we cross here, we get this problem. We shouldn't be getting it, this problem. We shouldn't be getting it. Let's actually see the subchunks world. Get subchunks. And how do they look like? All of them are perfect. I don't see no pointers. Yeah. There are no pointers here. I don't see no pointers. Oh no, here we have a no pointer. And we have the key and it leads to a no pointer. We have one of all of them is no. And which is it? It's the 032. 032 and 016. Okay. Most likely it's literally the one that we got here. Here. Because the height was the maximum. Like 15 times 16. That was the height. 15 times 16. Yeah, 240. X was 0. And Z was 32. But in game it was 16 and maybe we were just transitioning to the new one. This looks really cool. I was just working on my Quake engine in Raylib. I just uploaded my completion of making the movement working. Keep up the good stuff. Yeah, you keep it up as well. My favorite place to program is during a live stream, since I have company. Like coding without live streaming is so much of a difference experience. Like working while it's like going in a library. It's the same feeling. Working when live streaming is for me it's fun. And if a cool moment comes up, it will get recorded. Yeah, okay, so I get the position, sure. And I have somehow how many were there actually? The subchunks. How many were the subchunks? That's what I want to see. When we get a crash. Here, how many are the subchunks? I'm trying to get them. Okay, size 136. Sure. And the issue, the one with null pointer is this one. 136. So 136. So we have, let me think about it. We have the size is 3 by 3. and each of them has how much is the world height? How much is the world height? World 15 is the world height. 15, 135. One new subchunk came in. One new subchunk came in, and it shouldn't be there. And most likely it's this one, this position. But here, oh, I get it. It's the way an unordered map works. When we ask for something that's not there, it probably creates it. It probably creates it. We need to remove it. How can we remove at the position? Erase. C++ unordered map, remove element at key, erase method. Yeah, the erase method. Oh, we need... Why should I iterate over it? I don't want to iterate over it. I know what the key is. Most of my stream would consist of Googling. Well, mine is the same. I wish the live stream was in Portuguese. Well, that's impossible for me. Oh, I see. I like the idea of working in C. I like the idea in working in C because it's a lot, you don't have all those features C++ has to offer, and you can just focus on coding instead of what feature I should use. But there are still like some features C++ has to offer that like I don't want to lose. Yeah, so they remove an element by first finding the key, and if it's not the end, erase it. Okay, we'll do that as well. We need to find it. Oh, let me think about it. We should do it. Let's do it here, like whatever. We'll change it later. We'll change it later. Subchunk position. If the iteration is not the end. So if it has found it, to erase it. That's it. Now we will not have the error. Oh no, what happened here? Oh, I need to break. I need to break. Yeah, now look at this is what I meant with the analogy of drawing. We're drawing terrain and now we're outside of the canvas. This is our endless world. I wanted to simplify it and I simplified it a lot. Let me remove this debug text. This is my way of simplifying it, the endless terrain. And yeah, outside of here, it cannot do anything. And at least it doesn't crash. So the size of the world was 1 by 1, and now it's 3 by 3 just by moving around. And we should actually make it... Yeah, we need to like improve upon this. But this is what I meant of keeping it simple. We'll gradually reach the end goal of having endless terrain. We'll gradually get there. Drawing terrain on canvas. Only I'll get it. The reference. Sick, this is so cool, dude. Thank you. Yeah, wait till you see the Java clone. Wait till you see the Java clone. Like, this is my biggest Minecraft clone. But even here, we don't have endless terrain. Even here. It's not endless. And here we don't have the custom block hover. But I have it in the C++ one. I have it here. Okay, this is custom block hover. And even for the grass is custom. A bit. And now it generates. That's cool. Yeah, and it stops here. This is the simplification I meant. And now we need to make it a step more complicated. We need to make it a bit more complicated. That's how we gradually reach our goal. We start very simple and dumb and gradually complicate it. Because even this like block hover, for the longest time I kept it very simple, like this. For the longest time, the block hover was as simple as it gets. It's the whole block, that's it. I just kept it simple. And just now, after a year, I went back and improved it to be a custom block hover, where I can make it whatever shape I want. We even have it for the anvil. Like the most complicated use case that I could find was the anvil, and we got the anvil custom block hover. And that's my way of progressing, to keep it simple and gradually make it more complicated when I'm ready. Since here in the Java clone, here this thief, this initially was a black square, like a black rectangle. Then it was just a picture of Steve that was static. It was just a picture. And then I came back to it and made it 3D with animation. I made it gradually more and more complicated, gradually. And this ambient occlusion, I didn't have it. If I press R, after it regenerates the whole mesh for the entire, here, ambient occlusion is gone. For the longest time, this is how the Minecraft clone looked like, without ambient occlusion. And I went on like this forever, and I made a lot of videos with how it looked like this, and everyone in the comments was like, please, ambient occlusion, add smooth lighting. And when I was ready, I added ambient occlusion, which is this, which looks a lot better. But it's still not smooth lighting. Here you can notice the lighting is blocky for the light itself. But we'll get to it at some point. Here the easiest to notice is at the tree, how the light is blocky. In Minecraft it's smooth. And and I'm still following the same like principles to keep it simple and gradually make it more complicated. Like here, maybe here there's smooth lighting. Yo, what are these trees? This is the first time seeing them. Like, what is Minecraft cooking? What are these trees? What? What are these trees? This is my first time seeing them. Mangrove roots. Yo. They've added a lot. Let's look at comments. But you have to add the features yourself. Yeah, that was for when talking about C. Haven't been watching for long, but you're reading real region file. What do you mean by reading real region file? Looks cool if you didn't add creative mode. Smooth lighting would be blending, right? Oh, fellow coders. Smooth lighting would be blending. I don't know. I don't know about smooth. I haven't thought about smooth lighting at all. But let's make this terrain endless. As of now, as of now, it's not endless, but we have a buffer. We have a buffer. Look at how we move, and it generates. We move, generates. But it's not endless. It has an end. Now the terrain has an end. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. We can increase the invisible terrain. We can increase it. Right now it's 3 by 3. We can make it like 20 by 20. And the visible will be 1 by 1. And let's run it. And let's see what happens. That would be very interesting. And now the terrain gradually becomes visible. Now we have a bigger canvas to draw. We're drawing terrain. We're drawing terrain. We're drawing the terrain. What the We're drawing the terrain. But it's still not endless. It has an end. It's 20 by 20. Yeah, here is the end. It's 20 by 20 world. But if we can move this canvas with us, it will be endless. And if we can remove the track behind us, all of this, just so we have this one chunk around us. And the inspiration for this was how Minecraft looked like when we moved really fast. In the stream, if we go back here, I found this like 40 minutes ago. Look at how when we traveled fast in Minecraft, we had this after us. And I was like, dude, it's like we're drawing the terrain on a canvas. And that inspired me to draw terrain on a canvas. Now we're drawing terrain on a canvas. That was my inspiration. We just need to increase the brush stroke. No, I'm not reading a Word file. I'm not reading a Word file. Yeah, we made good progress, and it's a good time for a like 5-minute break. I'll be right back in maybe 5 minutes. Yo, what's up? I'm back. What is the music? Yeah, it's here. What did I miss? Yeah, I'm generating the terrain. No, I'm not reading from a file. Peak, Mojang should hire you. For them to hire me, I need to give them a CV, but they don't have an office in Bulgaria, so I haven't given them a CV. It's pretty much issue with your code. You set the terrain generation to hard-coded number. How about system that generates the world to the end of the player FOV and remove previous, just make the map? Are you talking about custom culling? I'll do custom culling at some point, because that would increase the FPS a lot. Minecraft does it independently of the view distance, like I think they have view distance. Chunk generation, yeah, simulation distance and render distance. Yeah, they're independent. Then again, I'm not sure, I haven't picked that MC code in forever. Our current issue is that the code base has a hard-coded value that tell the game how many chunks it will generate. And that's okay, it's okay that it's hard-coded value. I don't need to change the render distance. Like, you can have infinite terrain even at render distance of 2. You can have infinite terrain. Even at render distance of 2, it's still infinite. Like, I don't need to change, I don't need to make it not hard-coded so that I can change it in-game. And we don't need to change the render distance in-game as of now for this problem. We can keep it at a small render distance. I'm sure he can store that in a buffer, then write into this like how. I don't care about writing to disk for this problem. It's a different stream. Like the hash map he has now. Is the source available? No, it's not available. Me neither, to be fair, I am new to 3D programming. I never touched 3D before. Relic got me really excited about it. I've been toying with it about a year now, and I finally got a Quake movement system working. Yeah, Relic is amazing. I really love Relic. It's my favorite place to make games in. I've tried I've tried Unity, Godot. I've tried what was it called? The C# one. I've tried Monogame, XNA framework. I've tried GameMaker. I've tried Unreal Engine, and from all of them, Relic is my favorite. Yeah, 3D is kind of complicated. True, I feel like libraries like Relic have kind of eliminated the struggle of 3D programming. 10 times is being cool to see the evolution of the library and its projects. Maybe, but there is all of the stuff that Relic doesn't offer by default. Oh, I haven't tried. I said that I've tried many things and my favorite is Relic. I haven't tried Bevy. I haven't tried that. And I hear good things about Bevy, but it's using Rust. and I don't feel like I've tried Rust and it's too difficult for me. I've tried Rust, but Bevy looks interesting, the engine itself. Like, it's not like, do you consider it an engine? Yeah, UI framework. No, that's for the UI. Hot reloading, yeah, that's super cool that they have hot reloading. Yeah, Bevy is interesting, and I may try Bevy. I may try it, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Rust is too hard for me, lol. I'd rather suffer having to check for all for myself. Yeah, Rust is too hard for me as well. Like some of the things that you can write with Rust is like too complicated for me. So, let me think about it. We want to make it endless. Right now, the render distance is like even less than 2. And the previous chunks, we need to delete them. And we need to be able to continue to generate the world, like outside of our quote-unquote canvas. Like this generation stops at some point. We need to make this endless. We need to make this endless to not have a stopping point. And we need to delete all of these behind us. And we'll have endless terrain. We'll have endless terrain. If we manage to do that. But the question is how. I really like the progress we made. This was very good progress. We're going in the right direction, that's for sure. At least it looks like that. But it has a limit. It has a limit. It has a limit. Oh, you know what? I got an idea. I got an idea. You notice how when we increased the distance, it was almost perfect. Almost. And when it's like too close to us, when the invisible world size is 3 by 3, here it's 3 by 3, this is 3 by 3. 3 by 3 chunks. And here when we're outside of this, we cannot generate more. When it's 3 by 3, it's too little. We very quickly reach the end. When it's the huge world 20 by 20, it's perfect at some point until we also reach the end. So the cool part was that there was a buffer. And we can increase this buffer a little bit. So we can make the invisible size 4, let's say. This will give us enough room to increase the to start generating. Like here, we know we can go again, and we cannot go once more. We cannot go more. So we were here, we went past one chunk, and then another, and that's it. We moved past 2 chunks, and then we reached the limit. So we can use this buffer, maybe, we'll see about it. We can handle one transition without problem, as of now. And we can handle one more as well. It's generated, the blocks are there. We just need to generate the mesh and make it visible. Like here, we go here. Let's see how big is it, why is it their limit? Did I lower it? No? It's here. Maybe it was just generating slowly. Yeah, it was probably generating slowly. I don't know. But it's like we have a buffer. Which means it gives us time to do something. To increase the canvas size. Because here we reach a limit. We reach a limit. But it's not that quick like it was before with 3 by 3 world. Let me think about it. So when we are here, like this is our render distance, it's very small. All of these should disappear. All of these, they should disappear. All of these should disappear. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make them disappear. We can do that. We can do that. But how? How? We can go in the previous, in the last sub chunk, we can go there. We can go there and just this and this, and we get its reference, and here we get its reference, and if we have a generated mesh, I've done this before. Where did I do it? Oh yeah, when updating the terrain. Where was it? Position details, update model mesh. Yeah, this. We need to unload the mesh. Let me think about it. Yeah, just the mesh, I think. Maybe the model as well. I want to delete the sub chunks past me. I want to delete them. So if sub chunk has a model generated, if it has a model, I want unload model subchunk model to unload the model. And so here this is false, and it doesn't have a mesh. Doesn't have a mesh. Let's see that. Yes. Hey, what happened? With the unloading. There is an issue with the unloading. Unloading the vertices. It just says breakpoint was reached. What's up? It's not the priority to add commands as of now. We'll think about it later. What do you think about Java? I hate Java with a passion, but using it, but it helped me learn my first year. The most progress I've done in Java here. If it wasn't for Java, I wouldn't be making Minecraft clones now. That's the positive, but for a long time I wanted to move to C++, and now I'm in C++. It was a good stepping stone, but I don't want to be I don't want to master Java. I want to master C++, but it was a good stepping stone. Making Minecraft by just guessing visuals is crazy. It's more fun that way. It's not only visuals, like I sometimes use render doc, which gives more information. Here I could, for example, launch my game. Here I can launch my game. Yeah, I can launch my game and I can make a screenshot And here inside of render doc, you have all the draw calls. You get a bit more information. You can see the mesh. Yeah, here you can see the mesh. You can fly around looking at the mesh. Like, it's a bit more information, and I was using this to look at how Minecraft renders things. These are the foliage. This is the foliage. These crosses. These are the trees. You can barely notice them. And here you can see the information of the vertices. Here you can see I'm using the vertex color, the vertex position, and also you can see the uniforms used here for the shader. For me, it's just the model view projection matrix. It's just that. And you can look at the shader itself, here the code of the shader, so I can look at the shader Minecraft uses. Like, it's not just the visuals. I had this, and this, if I didn't have render doc, I wouldn't be able to do a Minecraft clone. This information was very helpful. And here you have access to the texture as well. This is the texture I use. If I flip it, yeah. This is my texture, but this is how I can use the Minecraft texture. This is what I use. These are my spawn eggs for spawning the zombies and skeletons that can shoot at me. I don't have these in the C++ version. Oh, I fell in a cave. That doesn't matter. Will we add sky gradients? Sky gradients. I'm not sure what sky gradients are. I suggest you do to your game that could be blocky, but don't let Mojang take credits because it is very different from Mojang. If I make a game, it will be a voxel game like Minecraft. It will be blocky. You are making perfect clones, so don't let them have credits. I don't think that's ethical. Right now I'm making a clone, so I cannot release my clone. It's a perfect clone. Like, you're not correct by saying it's imperfect. It's a perfect clone. Like, I cannot release this, obviously. Like, I'm using Minecraft textures. But if I in the future make a game of my own, it will be a voxel game for sure. And like, if we look at like Hytale has blocks, but they don't have issues with Minecraft since they are different enough, but they still have voxel worlds. You cannot copyright voxel worlds. But everything else I cannot use. I cannot use these flowers, for example. I cannot use Steve if I make a game of my own. Yeah, I'm making right now a perfect clone. That's my goal. A gradient is a measure of how much one quantity changes in response to another. A rate of change. We'll look at it at another stream, but I'll screenshot your suggestion and I'll save it in the pile of suggestions. Where are the other suggestions? Here I have one. Here I have another one. So you are saved. Now in the game here, unload mesh crashes the game. Why? Why does it crash it when I try to unload the model? Well, it tries to free up the mesh vertices. And what's the issue? Oh, there isn't a mesh maybe? Maybe there isn't a mesh. What if we unload the mesh itself? Mesh. Sheesh. Again, the same issue with the vertices. Oh, because let's unload mesh. That's very weird. What did I miss? Perfect clone means byte to byte similarity with Minecraft. Just look up color gradients and you'll get it. Yeah, I'll look at it. I wish I could learn shit like this. I can. I'm just doing it in Python. Yeah, Python is good. Like using could you add your own character and make dungeons? What do you mean to add my own character? Here I have Steve. What would my own character look like if it's not Steve? How is progress going? I'm trying to solve a bug. Yeah, but it's from scratch or like Pygame or something. And because Python is still impressive, but Pygame not as much, yes. There is one YouTuber that uses Pygame and he's very popular. The potato something. It was potato something. YouTube. Potato Pygame. He was the fluffy potato. Yeah. He uses Pygame and I watch his videos. And he now makes a game in VR. Yeah, he's cool. Here it says not subscribe because I'm in the live channel. I'm not in my main channel. But he deserves a subscribe. So back to Minecraft. Here, when I move outside of here, this chunk there loads, but this one doesn't unload. Yeah, it unloads, but sometimes I get a crash. Okay, this one didn't load. Okay, crash. Oh yeah, maybe I'm trying to unload something that I need to have some sort of a check here when I unload. How do I unload here? Oh, I get it. No, I don't get it. I was thinking like maybe I'm unloading 2 times. Once here and once in the subchunk destructor since it unloads as well. Unload. Here. Wait a minute. Oh. Yeah, let's look at unload mesh. VBO ID. If it's different than null. Let me think about it. Yeah, it frees up all of these. Yeah, but why does it crash? When I go back. When I go back, it crashes. Yeah, when I go back. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, when I go back. At some point it will crash. Yeah, it crashed. Yeah, when I go back. So if I go here, then go back, it will crash. Yeah, I get it. We will solve it. This is a good problem to have since it has a solution. I see, yeah, that's impressive. How much chunks can you see? Well, right now we're looking at 1 chunk. What bug are you fixing? Yeah, we saw it. We saw the bug. I want to learn C and C++, try and learn OS development. Why do you want OS development? What's the goal? Maybe you're trying to unload something that's... Yeah. Crazy. The stream appeared random, but very good stream. How long do you make this? More than a year. More than a year. But not this, like... This is... Like... if we go to the main channel... You'll see how much. Like... I first started with... this clone... a year ago. This clone. Then this is another clone. A year ago. Then this is the Java clone 8 months ago. So this is 8 months ago, according to YouTube. No, this should be a year ago, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, this is 8 months ago. Then this is another clone where I blow up 10 million TNT. This is my Unity Minecraft clone 4 months ago. Here I tried Terraria, Samurai Jack game. Here adding redstone. This is the Java clone. This is again Terraria clone. This is Stardew Valley. This is Counter-Strike clone. Here this is the Java clone. And this is trying to make Noita. And this is again the Java clone. This is a recap of my 1 year of making Minecraft clones. But this is the main channel. This is the main channel. We shouldn't be able to get here. We shouldn't be able to get here. Looks good. How hard was it to learn C++? I'm not learning C++. I'm using the same, like the basics, like pointers, variables. I'm not trying to do anything complicated in C++. The most amount of learning is how to make games, like what is a mesh, what is a model, how to render efficiently the whole terrain, what is a vertex array object, what is a vertex buffer object. The most learning was OpenGL, which I managed to learn from this website, Learn OpenGL, Getting Started. I went through just the Getting Started section, which covers the basics, how to create a window, how to render a triangle, just the basics, which rendering a triangle will introduce you to the shaders, the fragment and vertex shader, which every game developer should know what a vertex and fragment shader are, because it will be of big help even in Unity, Unreal, and in the 10 million TNT clone, I used geometry shaders. Geometry shaders were really helpful. Here I learned what a Droco is. Like, OpenGL was very helpful. So, your question about C++, for me it's mostly learning OpenGL. The most I know in C is variables, is just displaying stuff. OpenGL is quite old, unfortunately. Yeah, it's old, but it's easy to learn. Like, maybe I should have used DirectX. But DirectX 11, I think, not 12, since 12 is complicated as Vulkan maybe, but maybe DirectX would have been a better option. But I started OpenGL since this is a very good guide on it, and OpenGL is simpler than Vulkan. So here we're trying to make the world endless. We're trying to make the world endless, and we managed to, and we decided to simplify it by having the world be one chunk. We decided to simplify it, and we gradually will complicate it by increasing the render distance. But as of now, the render distance is small, just so we can have this. Like, And this technically makes the world endless, but it has some limitations. It has some limitations. Bro, you for real should fix this Minecraft Bedrock Edition. I have powerful PC and get performance issues. What's your goal with making this when you're finished? What then? And I'm using OpenGL, and the goal is to learn making games, because if I can make a Minecraft clone, I should be able to make a game of my own. That was my logic. So the goal is to make a game of my own at some point, and I assume it will be a voxel game like Minecraft. But I don't have an idea for a game, and that's why I continue making the Minecraft clone. I don't have an idea for my own game. Yeah, if I were to make a project like this, I'd use Vulkan just for the better performance and better... Yeah, but if you go for better performance, making new features will be very slow-paced. Is Vulkan not better because Minecraft is switching from OpenGL to Vulkan for... Yeah, I saw that they're switching, and that's good news. But... like, let's be real here. Minecraft is made like from a company like Mojang Minecraft. Many people, they invest millions of dollars in this, and I'm a single person. OpenGL, like if I switch to Vulkan, I'll never be able to make any progress. So that's why I'm using OpenGL. I'm just one guy. Like, I cannot go lower level than OpenGL. Making a clone of a game you enjoy is the best way to learn. Well, yeah, I like Minecraft. Like when I was a kid, it was my favorite game, and the redstone is my favorite part of Minecraft, and that's why the most features I focused on was redstone. Here, I added the repeater, the redstone clock, redstone repeater, the redstone. Here, the redstone components. And here the pistons. That's why I focus on redstone, since my favorite part is the redstone. And imagine if I can make a computer in my Minecraft clone. That would be very cool. But I'm not that far off. Save it in RAM the chunk is good news for us. It's hard. It's hard to remake an entire rendering engine. Vulkan is just extremely hard. Yeah, Vulkan is very hard. Vulkan is impossible to learn. Spawn of Satan. I do need to learn C++ to be fair. I start college soon, and they use in college Unreal Engine. That's surprising. Where even is the Vulkan docs, I see the 5 different Vulkan docs. Unreal Engine 5 seems very easy to learn if you know language you can. Unreal Engine is exciting, but it to me it looks like it has a steep learning curve. Codeception. Unreal Engine 6 clone when? Never. Man, I should focus. We should focus. Look at what the bug is. I'm trying... Okay, let's focus, man. When I had nobody watching, I made a lot of progress. Let's focus, man. Like, I'm getting distracted. Look at what the problem is if we ignore this. Look at what the problem is. I'm trying to make the world endless. And I've simplified it. Just like in Minecraft, when you push the render distance to be small. Like here, when you make it to render distance. Here, as it's small, this is what I want to replicate. And to simplify it even more, I made it even smaller render distance. Just one chunk. I've simplified it even more. And this is what we have. Like here. Like, it works. Sure, it works. But if I go back, we get a crash. We get a crash because I try to unload the mesh that's not there. And I need to see how I can check here when I try to unload the mesh. Because I've unloaded it once. And I have these booleans where I check all of these stuff. Yeah, let's do this. Let's remove this. Let's try again. And see if this solves it. When we go back, yeah, it crashes again. And this is for... Let's go back in the call stack. Generate mesh. Here it crashes. Here it crashes. And it has a VOID. Oh. And this has a vertex count? The mesh has a vertex count, but... Oh, maybe it's currently being unloaded. Oh. Maybe. Yeah, this check is incorrect. This check is incorrect. Yeah, that's where the problem is. It's not here. It's not here. Here is where the problem is. I could remove this. I can remove it. And when I generate the... no. Here, when I update the model mesh, here, I'll unload... yeah, unload mesh. I'll unload it here. Mesh. This is for when we destroy a block. Yeah, now we can go back and forth. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Yeah, we made progress. We made progress. Well, in college it's Unreal Engine 5, Godot, GDevelop. They even use Pygame. I don't know why they're teaching so much engines. Don't you have a choice from one of them? Save the chunk in RAM if you're entering the same chunk again, reload again. I cannot do that. I cannot do that. Since right now it's like one chunk, but if it's like 20 by 20, like I cannot do that. Instant loading synchronous with the frame rendering. Yeah, right now I'm running everything on the main thread just to simplify it. Once we have it working, I'll move it in a separate thread. I'll move it in a separate thread. But yeah, we are doing it one step at a time. We're simplifying everything. We're simplifying everything. And here, the actual world is 3 by 3 right now. And only here in this 3 by 3 world, we have like infinite terrain generation. But here right now, it's not actually infinite. Since if we go here, like we don't get terrain. We don't get terrain. If I make it, because we have invisible size, and for now it's 4 by 4. We have invisible world. The invisible world is 4 by 4, which means we have 4 by 4 chunks that we have generated for them the blocks, but they don't have a generated mesh. The visible world is 1 by 1. We can increase it to be 3 by 3, let's say. We can increase it to be 3 by 3 there. It's 3 by 3 now. And look at how we are unloading those chunks. We're unloading them. We're we're erasing the chunks. Yeah, now we're like we were before. Now we're like we were before. Let's make this one. If we make the invisible size 20 by 20, we'll have endless terrain for longer. We'll have endless terrain for longer. We'll have endless terrain for longer, but it's not endless. Yeah, it ended here. It ended there. It's like that for now because we simplified it, just so we have something to work with, and just so we can make some kind of progress. Just so we can make some kind of progress, but we need to make it actually endless. As of now, it's not endless. As of now, it's not endless. It looks almost identical to Minecraft. Yeah, I use the same textures, and the code is my own. The code is my own. Nice to see it working. Why not make like Minecraft mods using VRAM for loading chunks? I don't want to make it. I want to make it just like Minecraft does it. I don't want to replicate mods. But I had an idea to make a copy of like old school mods. Like there was a Minecraft Portal mod. Minecraft Portal mod. Where you could have portals. Like to have this, to re-implement it. And there was another old school mod. Those little soldiers. Clay soldiers. I want to have the clay soldiers. These little guys. These little guys. I want to have them. If it loads at some point. You can make them battle each other. And this is a mod. Yeah, these little guys. It would be cool if I have them in my mod. But that's like in the future. That's not for now. Yeah, these little guys. They're basically soldiers that fight each other. There was this old YouTuber, old school YouTuber that makes reviews of mods. iPod Mail, I think he was called. When I was back in the day, I watched his mod reviews. iPod Mail, if anyone remembers him. Yeah. Yeah, but 15 years ago, 12 years ago. That's so old. Nerf guns, 14 years ago. And he had arenas every time he reviewed a mod, like episode 400 and something. For big episodes, he had a custom arena to showcase the mods. And I think when he reached a new like season, like for episode 400, he has a new arena, something like that. And inside of them, he reviewed mods. But I don't think many people will know about iPod Mail. And there was this other YouTuber that had a... But he made very old videos. What was he? I forgot about him. SC Mod. What was he? Mod review. What was he called? I think he had a... Yeah, I forgot what was his name. There was one other guy. Saving chunks in memory will be very inefficient. Graphics card using 2 GB VRAM. It'd be easier to save to disk and load later. Now I should make Minecraft Aeronautics mod. I watched Dan mod reviews. God, I miss them. I love how Dan them. The older reviews really had character compared to new ones. Yeah, his reviews made it feel like it was part of the game. Can I see the preview? I'll show you a preview. Why not? This is what we have. This is for very small render distance. We have this. We need to make it work for bigger render distance. And it needs to be endless, because right now it's not completely endless. It has an actual end. It has an actual end. At some point it will stop generating. the terrain. Because the canvas, the world is 20 by 20 chunks. Yeah, we reached the end. So from here, 20 chunks in that direction, and we'll reach an end. And that's it. Cool, I agree. Could we play the game if it's finished and also you add your own things? Would be cool. Yeah, but that would be very difficult. Because here the Java clone, like, how can I release this for you guys? I cannot. Like, okay, let's add a texture pack to remove the textures. Sure, but I have the zombie. So what, I should remove zombies and skeletons? Like, how am I supposed to give this to people to play? I cannot. Mojang will obliterate me. Because then people will be, why should I pay for Minecraft when I can just play his clone? Since you can survive here, you can break blocks. Like, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Yeah. I cannot do it. How can I make this endless? Like, we do have good progress. We do have good progress. Let's change the world size here to be... Let me think about it. Like right now, the issue is that here the world stops generating at some point because the canvas size is 3 by 3 on which we can quote unquote draw. That's one problem, and one thing we could do is to try to make it so we can continue on forever. That's one thing we can do. The other thing we can focus on is to increase this, to be working more than one chunk, to have here around me more chunks. That's one thing I can do as an improvement from before. That's one thing I can do. Instead, these are my two options. One option is to keep it like this and to fix this bug where it stops at some point, to fix this. The other option is to have the limit, to keep the limit, but to increase the render distance to be bigger. That's one thing we can do. But it's best to fix this limit. I think this is best to do, to be able to continue on like this forever. And then it will be easy to increase the render distance. That will be easy. That's not the problem we should worry about. It's this thing. I should figure out this. I should figure out that. I mean, changing a bit on avatar, other things, and what you're doing right now, doesn't it have 4 blocks? Yeah, I have coal, diamond, and iron blocks. Oh, this is so cool. I'm a developer making Minecraft using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Nice. On the web. Good luck. Keep it like that and fix the bug. The bigger the chunk, the more lagger. Yeah. Is the crash bug fixed? Oh, never mind. No, the crash is fixed. This happens when I close the game. The crash that happened. Like here there are no crashes. When I close the game it crashes since it's trying to unload a mesh that's already unloaded. Since when I destroy the sub chunks here, where's the destructor? Here, where I unload the model. Because I've already unloaded the sub chunk. Actually, if I, where was it? Unload mesh here. Let's unload the model. Now that that bug is gone. Model. And here, this. Let's do that. Yes, and let's close the game. It's the same problem. It's the same issue. It's trying to unload something that I have unloaded, and that's when I destroy subchunks. But here, actually, I can fix it here. If generated model to unload it only then, and that should fix it, I assume. Model generated, let's run it, and now if we close the game, it closes perfectly, so there are no errors. But we still have this issue with the world being limited up to a point. We can commit it. What's the history? Drawing terrain. It's unloading previous subchunk. We managed to unload the previous subchunk. Hi, okay. Object-oriented programming is crazy. Dealing with memory in general is scary. How far is the block reach? Block reach is 10 blocks. Does the block rendered with triangles? Yes, blocks are rendered with triangles. That's the primitive. Also, I had in the past an idea what would happen if the other chunks are only one mesh. One sub-chunk is one mesh. In Unity it's easier to see. My Unity clone. If I chunk manager, let's lower the world size. World here, let's do 2 and let's run it. Here it's easy to see what one sub chunk is. Yeah, this is my Unity Minecraft clone. It has directional light, and even if I destroy a block, it updates it. Like, I really like that, because it's a game engine and I have a lot of functionality given me for free, and I can just use it. But here you can see what you can see here, that here this is one subchunk, this is one subchunk, and this is one draw call. This is one draw call, and it's 16 by 16. It's 16 by 16, and all of these are subchunks. All of these are subchunks, and you can notice how one chunk has many subchunks. Many subchunks. This is one chunk, and here this is one draw call. This is one draw call. This is one draw call. And here in Unity is easiest to see. Here is the easiest to see. I really like this part of Unity where you can interact with your world. You have this in Godot, but still in Unity is better, obviously. Yeah, but you have something similar in Godot as well. How far is the block reach? You can add FPS counter. Why do you, I'll think about adding FPS. Why so many meshes, not one chunk entirely? Because first, because Minecraft does it like that, I assume. I looked at render doc. Inside of render doc you can see the draw calls, and like this is my it's running on my clone as of now. It's running on my clone, but I looked at their draw calls and it looked like to be on 16 by 16 by 16 on a sub chunk. From render doc I saw that they do it like that, and that's why I do it. But there's another reason. In Raylib I have a limit. If we look at one mesh is one draw call. If we look at one mesh, where is my mesh? Subchunk mesh. If we look at the mesh, the indices are using unsigned short. The limit for unsigned short is 65,000, something like that. So at most for one draw call, I can have like I'm quite limited on how many like indices I can have. And if I do the whole chunk in one draw call, I may reach this limit. I may reach it, and it will not be able to generate the mesh. One draw call, one sub chunk 16 by 16 by 16 is okay to be in one draw call. At LODs, may I ask, how did you learn coding? Well, I've spent a lot of time doing it. Like if you're a League of Legends player and you've played League of Legends for like years and you've reached diamond, like a high rank, and I'll be like, how did you reach that high rank? Well, spending a lot of hours and trying to improve every day by 1%. Like, you just have to spend time doing it. Like I've been spending a lot of time doing it. How much languages do you can and could I make Minecraft in Python? You can make Minecraft in Python, why not? There's even a tutorial in YouTube. Voxel World Python. There's even a tutorial for that. Here, Voxel engine in Python. This looks close enough to Minecraft. Here, this. And it's in Python. And he has like almost 1 million views. Like, you can look at this. How much languages do you can? Right now I'm using C++. And for this I use Java. So let's say C++ and Java. Let's just say that. Yeah, we'll end this stream like I have a limit of 3 hours. We did enough today. We didn't reach the goal of making the world endless. We didn't manage to make it endless. But to summarize, we managed to make it seem like it's endless, but it's actually not. And we can load and unload these chunks, neighboring chunks. We can do that. And we are close to making it actually endless. We're close. That's what I believe. So if I could manage to do another stream tomorrow, if I had 3 more hours, I will try to remove this limit. Here it looks like it's endless, like it generates new terrain, but it has a limit. I think if I had 3 more hours, I could remove this limit. And if we remove this limit, we just need to increase the render distance and we have endless terrain. And I would also need to put it in a separate thread, because most likely it will lag trying to load too many chunks. So if I had 3 more hours, which would be tomorrow in a new stream, I would remove this limit and increase the render distance and move it in a separate thread. I think that would be possible. I think that would be possible. But today this is what we managed to do. That's what we managed to do. Yeah, we'll be ending it. Yeah, so thank you guys for being here. Like 3 hours is the limit I've set for a stream, and we are at 3 hours and 6 minutes. We have to end it. But tomorrow we can continue again. And I was thinking of doing in the morning 3 hours and at the evening 3 hours. So it's possible I can do 2 streams in a day. We'll see about it. We'll see about it. But my goal is to have only 1 stream a day. 1 stream a day is my goal. At least that. Yeah, so thanks guys for being here.